Hello. How to manually calculate payroll taxes, and we are going to talk more about how to estimate federal income tax to withhold from employees' wages if you have employees in your business. So I will suggest you download publication 15T, and it is employers tax guide or federal income tax withholding method, and there are multiple methods in this publication, but we are going to focus on wage bracket method table for manual payroll system for Form W4 2020 or later, and that will be section 2. But there is percentage method table that you can take a look at as well. But in this video, we are just going to focus on the wage bracket method, and it works if you make payroll if you pay wages periodically. The wage bracket method works well for that. But if you do not pay wages periodically, you can check the percentage method, and there should be alternative method that you can take a look at as well. But in this video, we are going to talk about just one method, which is going to be wage bracket. So that's a method you can use to estimate payroll federal income tax that you can withhold from employees' salary. So if you are an S corp, if you are a sole proprietor, an LLC that file 1065 partnership tax return, and you have employees, you pay wages to those employees, you have to withhold federal income tax from their salary. And based on some states, you might have to withhold state income tax as well, depending on the amount you pay in wages. So, and this publication 15T will help you estimate the federal income tax to withhold. So if you are filing Form 941, for instance, or even if you are filing Form 944, to calculate the other type of taxes like Social Security tax and Medicaid tax, they do have the percentage in the form that will guide you to double check your what you withheld. But yeah, Social Security tax and Medicaid tax, the employee will pay a portion and the employer will pay a portion. So, but I explain more of those in how to file Form 941. So in this video, we are just going to focus on how to estimate and withhold federal income tax return, which will go on line 3 for Form 941. And if you are filing Form 944, which is annual tax return, unlike Form 941, which is employer quarterly federal tax return, Form 944 is employer's annual federal tax return and is filed once a year. You still need to estimate the federal income tax return to withhold from the employee's salary. So if you are an S corp tax if you are an LLC tax as an S corp and you work in the business, you are the first employee of the business, you are the officer, and you pay yourself salary, you still need to withhold federal income tax from your salary, and you withhold Social Security tax and Medicaid tax, and your business will pay Social Security tax and Medicaid tax as well. So to be able to estimate how much to withhold from your salary, we are going to do it two ways. The first one, since we are going to use wage bracket method in the publication 15T updated for 2023, it is on page 12. So there is a worksheet that you will use in conjunction with W4. So whether it's you or somebody else working in the business, you might want to advise them to renew their W4 for you. So we are going to pull an example here of W4. And it has specific area that you will take into consideration when you pay wages to know how much to withhold from the employee's salary. So the first things you look at is step 1, box C. So the marriage status of the employee. So I have an example here for myself of W4, and I check single to be taxed as a single. And you can do that, and this is the assumption. So if you have an LLC tax as an S corp and you are paying yourself salary, you can use that avenue to withhold more tax from your wages. That way, when your business have profits, that profit, whether you distribute it or not, you are still going to pay income tax, or you're still going to pay tax on that portion of profit that is, that is your share of profit. So you're still going to pay tax on it. So if you know that that profit is going to, you might owe tax on that profit, you can withhold more from your salary to cover that portion. I don't know if it makes sense. That way you don't have to make estimated tax payment throughout the year because of that, but you can just use withholding from your salary as the avenue to pay more tax. So by filing as single, by being taxed as a single, while when filing tax return, I'm going to file as married filing jointly, automatically in this example, I will be taxed at a higher tax bracket, at the highest tax bracket. So that's one thing there. And the second one is step 2. So step 2, if the employee want you to withhold more taxes from the wage of the salary, it could be because the employee has multiple job or has a job and has pretty much multiple job and wanted to withhold more out of the wages to cover what other I don't know how to explain it, but I will give an example. I have multiple part-time job before when I was looking for full-time job, and I couldn't find it during the 2009 ish. During that recession, I couldn't find a job related to my degree. I have multiple part-time jobs, so I started working at a fast food, and then I work as a cashier at Walmart and moved to accounting position. I think they call it cash. It was cash office. I worked there for a while, and at the same time I was working as a tax preparer at a tax firm during winter time. So those are part-time job, and little by little I migrate to substitute teaching as well after I took that certification. So those are multiple part-time job, and each one of those companies, they will withhold a small amount of tax out of my income based on how much I was working there. Since I was now working a lot, therefore they will withhold a little. So at one of those, or even all of them, I will complete the W4 to be taxed as single. And at one of those, I will put a specific dollar amount extra to be withheld from my salary, my income, my wage, so that when all of those sorts of income flow to my 1040, it doesn't put me at a tax bracket that those individual employers didn't think I would be. I don't know if that makes sense. So some employees, or even you, the business owner that is the employee of your S corp, maybe step 2 check might be an option as well to withhold extra. And you have step 3 for employees that will want you to withhold less tax from their wages. They have to complete a worksheet at the end of the W-4 to guide them to estimate some qualifying credits that they can claim to lower their wages, to lower the tax to withhold from their income. So step 3 is for that. And step 4 has 3 options. And I like to emphasize on the last one. That's where you'll put a specific dollar amount to be withheld from your income in addition to, whatever that job wage will have withheld. I don't know if that makes sense. So you'll put a specific dollar amount. And I used to do that quite a bit with my state's W-4 because they tend to withhold a little bit for that. And to avoid owing, in the past I will put a specific dollar amount there to be withheld, to be withheld. So those are the areas that you will pay attention to on the W-4 that you'll receive from the employees. And it is a requirement to give employees W-4 for them to fill out for you. And if the employee didn't fill one for you, you have to withhold at a higher tax bracket as a single. Like if step 1C is checked, everything else remain blank. Both 2 blank and step 3 and 4 blank. That's what you will use for those employees that didn't have W-4 for you or didn't renew their W-4 with you. So there is some regulations on that you can read in the publication 15T. But yeah, those are things that I wanted to show, that we have an example of W-4 completed here for this employee. And now we are going to use that to estimate how much needs to be withheld from Afiavi's wages. So we are going to estimate that. Okay, so that is the W-4. Now you are going to choose how often you pay wages in your business. So you have multiple options here. I like to call it payroll frequency. It can still be called payroll period as well. So you will choose how often you pay payroll. And in this example, I'm going to choose monthly. So that will be 12 times a year. And so with this worksheet, pretty much when you pay wages, you are going to use it for each employee to calculate, how much you are going to withhold from that wage. So in this example, let me see if I'll be able to write on this. We are going to estimate monthly. Let me yeah, let's use the red. Okay, can we get it out of our way here? Okay, so if we close it, we can now use it. Okay, so we are going to use monthly, and for the employee taxable wages this payroll period, enter the employee's total salary wages. We are going to say, because it's paid once a month for these employees, we are going to put 2,000. So I'm just going to put 2K. Okay, so enter the number of pay period you pay per year. So that will be table 5. That will be this one, and we already highlighted there, but Well, I'm trying to write 12. Okay, so enter the amount from step 4 of the employee's W4. So step 4 of the W4, is it step 4C? Let's check again. Step 4A. So step 4A is blank, so we are not going to worry about that. And step 4A is other income, is the employee is estimated income from other sources on line 4A, to give you an idea, you know, that you can include that income to yours to calculate a payroll tax on it for them. So we are going to leave it blank. I don't really use that line. Divide the amount on line 1C by the number of pay period. So that will imply that the amount the person will put on line 4A is the annual, how much they think they are going to earn from other sources of income for the year. They will put it on line 4A, and you will take that divided by how many times you are going to pay that person. In this example is 12 times, so you'll put 1/12 of that. Pretty much you are going to take that into consideration, and that's what line 1D is for. So you divide line 1C by 12 in our example to find line 1D. And again, in our example, it's going to be 0. So you'll add line 1A and line 1D. So pretty much a portion of other sources of 1/12 of other sources of income that employee will earn, plus how much you are paying that employee, you know, during this payroll period. So line 1A and line 1D, you add it together, it will be line 1E. In our case, it's going just to be 2K. Okay, so line 1F, enter the amount from line from step 4B from the W4. Step 4B is deduction. So if you expect to claim deduction other than the standard deduction and want to reduce your withholding, you'll use the worksheets and use that to calculate how much you think your deduction is going to be for the year. And I'm just going to show you the worksheet. I frankly don't advise to use those methods though, but again, if you want to use them, the worksheets are there. So you have, yeah, the step 4 worksheets, you have that area to use, and then you have the step 2 worksheet right there. Is one worksheet divided by 2 for those instances. So we are not going to have anything for that. But again, if you have anything for an employee on line 4B, you are going to use it, and you are going to put that on line 1F, and line 1G as the same as 1D. You are going to take that 1F divided by the number of times you are going to pay that employee in a year to find that fraction, and it will be 1G. So 1H is going to be to take that 1G and subtract it from 1E, because that person is trying to decrease how much you are going to withhold from their income. In our case, it's blank, so that means our 1H is going to be 2K. Okay, I hope it look like 2K here. Okay, so now we are going to figure out the first step of amount to withhold. They like to call it tentative withholding amount. So 2A, use the amount from 1H to look up the tentative amount to withhold in the appropriate wage bracket method table in this section for your pay frequency, given the employee's filing status and whether the employee has checked the box 2 of W4. So they check the box in step 2 of Form W4. So now we are going to take this 2K after those adjustments. We are going to take 2K from line 1H and we'll go estimate income tax withhold on that. So we are going to, let's not forget our pay frequency is monthly, that's 12. So we are going to look for the monthly pay period. So they have, because you see that table 5, they have multiple period. They have the same, they have table for each one of those periods. So you have weekly pay period, but we are looking for monthly. So we are going to just keep scrolling down. We are in bi-weekly. See my monthly, and we are looking for monthly. So 2023 wage bracket method table for manual payroll systems with Form W4 from 2020 or later, monthly pay period. So there are things we are going to consider here. So first, you are going to locate your wage brackets that you are going to consider. The employee earn $2,000, so we are going to look for that. And I don't know if you notice it, but they say at least but less than. So we want to find the bracket that is at least, the bracket that is at least 2,000 but less than 2,000. So I'm going to scroll more so that we can see the arrow at the bottom. So at least 2,000 but less than 2,000. That's why we cannot use the top one, but we will use the bottom one. From 2,000 to 2,030 is the bracket I will use for Afiavi. So now the second thing we are going to look for, now that we found that our wage brackets, I think we are going to locate the married status. That's why the W4 is important. So we'll scroll to step 1C. The employee wanted to be taxed as single. Therefore, we are going to locate the married status column that will work for that employee, and that's single. So under each one of those status, you have 2 columns to choose from. So one is W4 2. Step 2 is not checked. That will be the standard withholding. And the second subcolumn is for step 2 is check. So we are going to, because the employee check W4 step 2, we are going to use that subcolumn for it. So for this employee, the tentative withholding amount is 163. So we are going to, okay, so page 22, right? So we are going to go back to our worksheet, and our amount is 163. This is terrible. Okay, so I'm not even using a mouse here. So step 3, account for tax credits. So enter the amount from step 3 of the employee's W3. So the like I said before, step 3 of the W4 is for employees who want to pay less taxes because they are now going to owe money. So they are going to complete step 3, and you will use the amount from line 3 in the calculation. So enter the amount from step 3 on line 3, and that will be for the whole year, how much they think their deduction is going to be, and you will divide it by the number of pay period that you have, like 1B, which is 12 in our case. But since we have 0 on line 3A, so our line 3C is going to be 0. So if 0, enter 0. So we are going to enter 0 here, and line 4, no, step 4, figure the final amount to withhold. So enter the additional amount to withhold from step 4 from step 4C from the W4, and that's extra that the employee wants you to withhold from it. So we don't have anything here, but if you have an extra there, usually is at each payroll. Yeah, they mention it. You want to withhold each pay period. So yeah, if there is an amount there like $5 there, you will add $5 here. So there is no amount there, so you leave it there like that. Add line 3C and 4A. Line 3C. Oh, hold on. Subtract line 3B from line 2A. Enter 0 if less or if 0 or less. Okay. So the division will be here. So the division, we didn't need to put anything there, but for line 3C, we actually need to take our tentative amount that to withhold that we calculated and subtract any possible tax credits. In our case, we don't have any, but line 3C is 163 minus line 3B, and it'll give us 163. Sorry about that. I should have put 163 on line 3C. Okay, so now line 4B, they say to take line 3C plus anything extra the employee want you to withhold from their wages, add it together and put it on line 4B. So that will be 163 as well, and that's the amount you are going to withhold from that wage that you pay that employee for that pay period. And you are going to keep doing that each time you pay wages to each employee. You are going to do that for each one of them. So another option, instead of using this worksheet, you can actually transfer this worksheet into a spreadsheet so that it is a little bit automated. So that way you are not going to keep wiping it off, and doing it for the next employee and so forth. So we do have a free let me see here, templates that we have a free spreadsheet on our website ninasoap.com that you can download our payroll spreadsheet from, or you can design your own, but you can just work that worksheet. If you are using that wage bracket option, you can work that worksheet into your spreadsheet so that you can include calculations like subtraction, addition, or division, or things like that that it asks for. You can include it in it. So we do have free payroll spreadsheets. Under free download, we have multiple versions. You can see which one works for your business, and this one is designed to use that wage bracket method. And I'm going to update it because as I'm using the spreadsheet for this example, I updated few things in it. So I have the spreadsheet open here. So when you have this spreadsheet, how are you going to use it? Or if you are designing one for yourself, how you are going to use it? We are going to use that to see how we are going to complete it instead of completing the worksheets in the publication 15T. And also, when you are designing your spreadsheet, you want to keep in mind the tax return that you are going to file with it to see what else you can include in your spreadsheet to be able to track those other data that you will be required to include you'll be required to enter on your tax return. So this one is Form 941, and you have Social Security, Medicaid that you are asked question for, and you do have, depending on how much you owe on line 12, total tax and adjustment, you are required to enter your monthly tax liability. So that means when you are paying, when you are recording and tracking your payroll, you might want to have a summary tab to total those tax liabilities by month. If you think that is something that is a box that you might have to check because your tax liability for the quarter is 2,500 or more, you might track your payroll by month to be able to do that. So if you are a semi-weekly deposit schedule, you will be asked to enter your daily tax liability. So if you are in that category, you might want to design your spreadsheet to be able to track that as well. And I'm going to show you an example of that Schedule B. And knowing the form you are going to file when you are tracking your business expense, you want to have that in mind to include few things on your spreadsheet to be able to record and track those data in a way that when you are about to complete those tax return, you are able to. So if you are, I'm going to have a video to explain how to choose your payroll tax deposit schedule. So you have monthly deposit schedule and you have semi-weekly deposit schedule. So if you are semi-weekly deposit schedule, you'll be required to complete to put your tax liability on a daily basis type for days that you have those payroll taxes, and you have it for 3 months for, because you pay quarterly return, you file quarterly return, they have it for 3 months for on each form. So knowing that you might have to provide daily tax liability, you might want to track it like that as well. But this spreadsheet does not summarize your payroll taxes on a daily basis. We have summary tab for the monthly total. Okay, so let's update this spreadsheet to see if that will be a little bit more helpful. So the first things you'll do though is the list tab. I try to color code the 3 tabs that are important to complete. So let me see, I think I took something out of here, but it should have come out of here. I delayed those things earlier. Okay, so in the list area, you enter your business name, you enter the tax year, and I think that's pretty much what you might need to do. But if you have other things that will apply, yeah, you can add them. But we do have those, you know, those categories, and then you go to the start tab. So that way automatically your business and the year will show up on the start tab. So we are going to enter the first employee here. Okay, the first name, the last name. Why not? Let's write 2 people. So J. Let's say we pay 2 officers of the business. So Afiavi and J, and the positions, let's just keep it like that for now. And you are going to choose if they are hourly or not. But annual wages, let's assume that's 24,000 for those 2 people. And the pay period you are going to choose, and it's coming from the list tab. By tab, I'm talking about those at the bottom. So it's coming from the list tab you choose. So from, let's check again. Don't know if it makes sense easily, but I do have, the explanation here. But monthly is 12. So pay a number of pay period by year, that's 12, and it's going to be 12 as well. So income from W4A, in other income, now from jobs. So let's check that W4 again. The W4 does not have anything on line 4A, so we are not going to put anything there. Other income, so yeah, it does have, some division there to do for you, like the way we did it on the worksheet, and pretty much emulating, let me see, this session when we did the division on one day. Yeah, it's taking care of that on your spreadsheet. And we have extra to withhold line 4C. If there is anything on the W4 4C, you'll add it, and there is none. And line W4 step 1C, you look at it on the W4. W4 is checked, so single, and we are just going to choose that for both after V and J. So boss 2, does boss 2 check? We can choose check for one and not check for the other. And again, we can check the W4. We are talking about this boss here, and it is check, and we are going to choose check for one and not check for the other, so we can see the implication for the same salary, the same wage, how is going to, the task to withhold is going to be different. So wage bracket method table, so for if the box is check, so it's going to be boss check withholding, and if the boss is not check, it's going to be standard withholding. That's just a way to remind ourselves what kind of boss we are going to, what kind of colon, what kind of sub colon to look at in the publication 15T when we are estimating the task to withhold. So step 3, dependent claim amount. So you'll enter an amount there. If step 3 has something there, it does not have anything, and it will do the division for you based on the pay period. And then who is on payroll, so pretty much the position in some way, and we are going to choose officer. And the reason is some states officers, you don't pay unemployment tax on them, and some states you pay unemployment on officers as well. So in this example, we are going to choose exempt tax unemployment, exempt state unemployment tax. So okay, so now that we have the step completed, so pretty much you use the W4 when you are giving W4, you use that to record pretty much the W4 on your staff spreadsheet. So if you are designing it for yourself, you might want to do that. That way you won't have to go back to that step, that W4, every time you pay payroll, you pay wages, you can just have it on your spreadsheet. So now the next step we are going to work on will be the federal income tax. So the federal income tax, I'm going to pull those people that are put on the staff back here. And I think I'm just going to do them together here. So if you have people on the staff tab, you'll have the drop down menu to choose them from. Okay, and again, there'll be a little bit of repetition here. So, but that's where you pretty much, when you pay people, that's where you are going to be doing your entries. The staff tab is just to put their W4 there in some way and put some stuff there that you are going to refer to when you are doing your publication. You are going, when you are looking at the tasks to withhold on the publication 15T, like the standard withholding or the other subcolumn. But now the federal income tax will be more when you pay people, where you are going to make your entries. So in this example, wage pay, because the person is not hourly, we are paying a fixed wage on a monthly basis. We are going to assume, why now? We say 24,000, right? So divided by 12, and that'll be 2,000. And overtime here, I put 1.5. Usually overtime is, whatever you are paying times 1.5. Okay, and then that will calculate it for you, but it does not apply to the officer. So let's continue here. So now we are going to pretty much the worksheet, table 5 on the worksheet is reduplicated on the spreadsheet. So you are going to choose your pay frequency, and in our case is period is pay monthly. So we are going to choose when we make this payment. So for see mine, you'll see it as well, and bi-weekly and so forth. And if you pay daily, you have that as well. So this one is January, and let's do that. And let's just assume that we pay those two people again in February. That way we have, technically we are doing it by pay period though, but let me just do this and we'll continue that first round first, but we'll come back for those. But anyway, it's January we are doing here. Let's assume we are in January. So now, how many pay periods do you have based on how frequently you pay people? So for monthly, that will be 12. And again, it's pulling this from the staff tab. So if you have multiple employees with different type of pay period, I think the pay period, if you have one pay period, so that'll just be that one option is going to pull out for you, because it's pulling things from the list and the staff tab, and some stuff that are coming from the staff tab will be more reduced because you already narrow your options there. So we chose monthly pay period, so we have 12 income. So for each one of those people is going to be a little bit like, now those things we put on the staff tab, you are going to have those options here to choose from for each one of them. And so you'll see some of those column same as on the staff tab. So it's pretty much giving you drop down menu, giving you those options to choose from based on what you put on the staff tab. Since we don't have anything there, we are not going to have anything in the drop down menu. Excuse me. So form W4 step 1C. If we do not have anything on the staff tab, is going to be nothing here, because we choose single for both employees is giving us those options, but again it's pulling it based on what we put on the staff tab here. On this staff tab, you have multiple options because it's pulling it from the list, but the federal income tax is giving you drop down menu based on the list you have on the staff tab. So the list will be reduced or smaller based on the staff tab that was pulling from the list tab. I don't know if it makes sense. So if you do not complete your staff tab well, your choices on the federal income tax will even be more limited. Okay, so now wage bracket method, we have with boss 2 checked for the first employee or the officer and standard withholding for the second one. So, and again, I don't know, you could insert formula for that to automatically pull it from the staff tab instead of having the drop down menu. That's an option as well. Not having the staff tab at all is another option, and just enter everything on it. If you are designing the spreadsheet, you can make those tweaks to it. And this spreadsheet, when you pull it from ninasoap.com, you'll be able to make changes to the spreadsheet as well. But just know that you are the one responsible for your business. Therefore, you are responsible for data you put on your tax return. The spreadsheet is just a tool, so you have to make sure the spreadsheet is working well for you to help you file your taxes or track your expenses and income. So tentative withholding income tax. So based on the information we put down, we are going to go there and look for it. So the wage is 2,000. The step 1C for W4, we have it. And the bracket method table subcolon to use it, we have it as well. So pretty much we need this, and we need this to go find the tax to withhold. So we will go back to our publication 15T, and we'll go to monthly tab. And 2000 to 2030 and single, and the first one is the boss 2 checked, so that'll be 163. So we'll go to our spreadsheet and we'll put 163, and this one is standard withholding. The boss 2 was not checked, so that means we will go back to the publication 15D, and under single, standard withholding is 86 for that same pay bracket. 2000 to 2030 is 86. So the second employee, we will withhold 86. So that is the tentative withholding. So if dependent was claimed, you will have to choose from the drop down menu. We didn't have anything there. If there is an extra on W4 line step 4C, it will be we have some formula there. I hope it's working well. Is pulling it from the staff tab. Let's see where we have extra withholding. For instance, let's put $5. If we put $5 here, we should be able to see $5 here. So that's what I would expect from it. But yeah, we do not have anything set to be withheld from the wage at each period. So we are going to not do that, but that's how that will behave with the spreadsheet. Okay, so now the income to withhold is 163 for one and 86 for the other. So we can complete the rest. Pay period, I think that will still be January. The month pay period will be, I don't know, pay 1, and this one will be January as well. and who is in on the payroll is officer, and payroll quarter is quarter one, and if you have fringe benefits, you can enter those, but it will help in the footer exempt because there are some benefits that are exempt from footer tax, and I think that's why I have those there. But you can read publication 940 for more on footer unemployment tax return. Okay, so total payments is pretty much total wages. Jaden, I'm recording, okay? Is there. So now you make that entry, and since I put a few, I wanted to enter February data, let's write that. And because we are using the same salary, in the basement, we are using the same salary for February, not much will change in the pay period. We are going to have this one is going to be the step 2 checked. Automatically the estimated tax to withhold is going to be the same. We don't need to go back and look it up again, and everything being equal, February is going to be similar to January. So we are going to enter February here and February down there, and I don't know, less officer, and it's still quarter one. And I think that's pretty much it. And something to notice in this spreadsheet, where you are going to enter data, I left it white or blank, and area that I have formula, usually it is highlighted. So now that you enter those information on the federal income tax tab, it will be able to, to pull data from the federal income tax to other tab of the spreadsheet. So the federal income tax to withhold is going to be tracking it for you, and it's going to track the income tax withheld, the social security tax to withhold from the employee's wage. That way you know how much you need to withhold from that employee is $2,000. So you know that you are going to withhold $124, and you are going to withhold $29 for Medicaid tax. So in total, you are going to withhold $316 from the employee's wage for that pay period. And your business is going to pay $124 for Social Security tax and $29 for Medicaid tax as well. And then let's see. So the total employer federal income tax and Social Security tax is $153, and then you have total Social Security tax employer and employee. Pretty much summarizing those. It's going to total those two for you, and it's going to do the same for the Medicaid. Employee and employer, Medicaid total, and it's going to be Medicaid employer, Medicaid employee total 58, and total federal income, Social Security and Medicaid. So that's 3 taxes here. Let's see. So it's taking those 2 and the federal income tax. And the federal income tax, only you withhold it from the employee's wages. Your business does not pay a portion of it. So just the employee will pay that. So it's taking all 3 and total them for you. So pretty much the employer federal tax withheld, I don't know if that's the right way to label that tab, but pretty much is pulling data from federal income tax tab to this tab to total them for you. And because I didn't put anything on the pay period column there, I'm not seeing it here either, but is pulling the amount for me. So from here we will go to total wages. So the total wages tab should be able to track how much you have been paying your employees by month, because for FURA you'll pay unemployment tax on the first $7,000 that you pay each employee. So it might be good to track how much you are paying your employee, so that when you reach that 7,000 cap, you know that you don't need to pay unemployment tax for that employee. No, you go there. Didn't you go there? I'm recording. So if you do not have clothes on, you do not show up in the video. So yeah, he wants my attention and he's acting up. Jaden, Gabriel, did you argue with your brother? No. Is it daddy?
Probably. I don't know.
Okay, so the total wages tab is pretty much summarizing how much you have been paying from the federal income tax tab. So total employee Medicare, we are tracking that as well. It may not be useful for you right away, but when you are filing Social Security, and I try to put a little bit of things that can be helpful for, maybe helpful to file Social Security tax return. I don't know if that's the right way to say, but yeah, it'll be helpful to file W2, W3 with Social Security Administration. That will be the right way to put it. So pretty much to remind you how you can, what you can use it for. So to file W2, W3 with Social Security Administration. I think that'll be more, I think that will, yeah, I think that make a lot more sense here. And I don't know if I put anything here. Okay, helpful to helpful wage report for unemployment tax return, and that'll be form 940, believe. So we should be able to have Social Security as well, and the same useful for Medicaid tax will be useful pretty much when you are filing W2 for each employees. You should be able to, I think it should be able to help you to see how much of Social Security. I don't know if we have an example of W2 to look at. Jaden, do you want to get your reading done so that you can use your computer? Make sure you check the time, not on my computer, but on the stove. I'm not seeing W2 example here. Let me see W2. Doesn't? Anyway, we can go to IRS website. We do have, let me see, federal tax links, federal tax return links on our website as well. If you are looking for something on IRS website and you are not finding it, you can check it on our website to see if you will be able to locate it there. So, but let's go to IRS website and check W4, the W2, for you to see how W2 is laid out. And it's not the form you fill out when you're completing W2. You have to go to Social Security website and complete it there. If you are e-filing Islam, easier, faster. Okay, so I'm going to now save it yet, but let's scroll to that W4. So knowing what you are going to do with the data might help you know how to track the data in the first place. So when you come to when you are completing W2 online with Social Security Administration, they'll pretty much pull out this form online for you, and you will enter the wage for that employee and the federal income tax you withheld during the year, the Social Security tax you withheld, but here is going to be the wage that is subject to Social Security tax, the wage you use to calculate the Social Security tax that you withheld from that employee's salary, not employee and employer, just the employee's salary. That wage, usually it will be the same as line 1, but then the Social Security tax withheld and the Medicaid tax withheld. So those that you are going to be putting here is the reason why the spreadsheet is throwing them here for you. I don't know if it makes sense. So now total income tax and total income tax on employees' wages. I didn't put anything there, but yeah, it is helpful. Yes. It is helpful as well for W2 and W3, but it is useful for Form 9, for other form as well. But it is tracking it again because it's going to go on your what is that W2 again? On line 2. Gabrielle, make sure when you come out of there, you are different from how you were before. So now total Social Security tax. Total Social Security tax tab is taking the employer and the employee total Social Security tax and have it. So this one is going to be helpful to file Form 941 or to file Form 944 as well. So we can take a look at Form 941, and Form 941 they usually ask you to calculate it here. So you can use the spreadsheet to double check the number you calculated there, but it's just pretty much, you have the wage subject to social security and social security withheld, and the employer portion, the total of both will be in column 2. And if we pull form 944, which is annual tax return, I'm really having an issue with this one here. Let's go to IRS website. If I do that, I'm going to get out of this, and I don't want to. Let's try IRS website again, and this time let's go through the link we have. Let me see if I can even search it here. Is it searching it from the website? Okay, form 944. Okay, so form 944, let's see if we can pull it from IRS website. And we just went through our blog, the links we have been saving there. It will take you to IRS website link, and the latest version they have there is 2022. And if you are completing form 944, if that's what you are required to complete, line 4A, social security wage, will have the wage social for all that you pay during the year for all the employees. And then you will tell me by that as Jaden, no, I'm recording. So you will tell me by 12.4%, and that will give you Gabrielle. Jaden, you are not going to use your computer. Do you want that? Okay, be careful, both of you. So you are going to have the employer and the employee portion of Social Security and Medicare in column 2. And then you will have the federal income tax that you withheld from the employee's salary on line 2. So knowing that you need those information when you calculate, because the Social Security and the Medicare, they have the percentage that you can just use, take a calculator and tell me by what you put in column 1 as wages, and that will give you what will go in column 2, and you can use your spreadsheet to double check it. So Social Security, so tab is pretty much tracking the total employer and employee portion, and it will be good to double check it to see if it is accurate, or is $248 a month per employees. $248, yeah. So yeah, it'll be good to to check it to see if the formula is not broken. Okay, and then the federal income tax, I believe we talked about that already, and the total Medicaid, the total Social Security, and Medicaid. So now we have employer portion of Social Security and Medicaid. It could help you know how much you need to put aside from in your bank account for tax, for tax, payroll tax that you need to deposit when you withhold from the employees, the portion your business need to add to it. Yes, if you behave. And make sure you wash it well. So this is your portion, and is tracking it as well in case you need it. And then we have the summary report, will be a good one to print out for your business record. And because I'm still improving the spreadsheet, I added another tab here that I have not named yet, and this one is not on the website just yet. The one on the website does not have the new tab that I'm adding, and the summary tab does not have those last two columns, those last two rows that I added here. So but this version, I'm improving this version, and I might add it there later. So this report pretty much is tracking things in a condensed way for you to see the employee social security tax, employee Medicaid tax, employee income tax, those things that you have been withholding from their income and by month, and the employer portion as well, and the employer portion of Medicaid as well, social security and Medicaid, and the employer federal tax, pretty much, which is going to be the employer portion and the employee portion combined by month, what your federal tax is. That's why you will deposit at the end of each quarter. So it's tracking it for you by month, and you'll be able to use that and put it on your other bookkeeping spreadsheet as well to track your expenses once you pay those. And then the full tax will be, I think I need to update something so that the full tax can calculate properly. And then we have the employee and the officer. I should name this better, depending on what is pulling. Income tax K is summarizing those. If line AA, let me see here, March, January, and employee. Okay, so pretty much is storing the wages for you, and I think it'll be better to name an employee. I will say employees wages total. Might make a lot more sense. Oh no, I won't do that. And the reason why I won't do that, make sure, is because I have a tab that say employee and I have a tab that say officer. And if, depending on what you choose on the federal income tax tab as the taro or the staff status in your business, it will pull it here for you so that you can track them. So since both employees are officers, I select officer, so it pull their total wages to that session for me. So total wages and officer compensation paid will total those two. And the reason, and those two that I'm referring to, in fact, I don't know if inserting a note, employee wages. Gabriel, can you turn the oven off? Turn the oven off. So press bake, and then you'll see 350. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Now press star.
What, start?
Did you see star right next to bake?
Oh yeah.
Okay, press it. Now press timer. Now press that plus until you put 1 hour. So here,
Done.
thank you. So employee wages, officer, why not officer wages? Why not? Let's leave it like that. So yeah, that way we can tell. But pretty much I just put employee and officer because I'm using a formula and is pulling it from here, I believe. Another option will be the staff. The staff has that as well on Q. AB on the federal income tax, or Q for the staff tab. So it's pulling a, I think the federal income tax is where it's pulling that from. It should be Is it AB I saw? Yeah, AB. It's pulling it from there. Yeah. Okay. So now we have total federal income tax, withheld, social security tax, employee and employer. Pretty much trying to summarize what is on top a little bit. And total Medicaid tax, withheld, employee and employer. So pretty much those numbers here, when you are filing your your form 941, for instance, the amount that will be in column 2, or if you are filing form 944 column 2, it is employee and employer. So when you calculate it, you can use your spreadsheet to double check it. So that is doing it for you. And then we have total social security and Medicaid and total tax before adjustment. It's pretty much summarizing those, but is in a way that you can just double check your numbers, because on form 941 you have line 5, that is the total of all your column 2. So you can use the calculator for it, and then you can double check it with your spreadsheet as well, and total tax or adjustment. So but this one is doing it by month. That's what I'm adding another column to do it by quarter, because the summary report, the year end, will work well for form 944. Since that's annual tax return, you just compare it to the total at the end of the year. But the new form will work well for form 941, because form 941 is quarterly tax return, federal tax return. So the amount on it, you will be able to, let me see here. Maybe when you are seeing the number on it, you'll be able to visualize it better. We have an example here based on that spreadsheet, and you can see that 1836, if you calculated for the quarter, it'll be let's go back to what we just opened right now. This is quarter 1. Oh, that makes sense. This one is using three quarters here, so that means I will have to, let me see if I can find the spreadsheet, the second spreadsheet here, probably this one, the one that I show you. We did January and February, so these numbers on this tax return is based on January, February, and March. So we don't have much on our spreadsheet, therefore the numbers will be off and more confusing for you. So let's go to our federal tax return, but you get the idea how this spreadsheet is calculated. So we have 3 payments, payment January, February, March. And when we go to the summary report tab and we go to this new tab, you'll see that for the quarter, pretty much the quarter is just taking January, February, March, total them for you. So it's just making the total of, Social Security and Medicaid tax, employer and employee. And so you can compare it to your tax, to your spreadsheet. And then you have total tax before adjustment is taking Social Security and Medicaid and is adding tax withheld to it as well. Federal income tax withheld from line 3 to it as well. And that's $25.83 on line 6. And that on the second spreadsheet example is total tax before adjustment. It is $25.83. And that's why we are creating this new tab to total them by quarter. That way it's easier to see the total and compare that to the tax return that we are calculating and to see if the number is accurate. So that's how those summary report tabs will pretty much pull things from your federal income tax tab that you completed, and you can use publication 15T to estimate the federal income tax to withhold from the employee's wage. So if you can design it yourself, and again you use the publication 15T as inspiration to pretty much use the worksheet that is determined to help you locate the tax to withhold based on questions that the employer answer on the W-4. You can use that worksheet to design your own spreadsheet, and then you look at the form you are going to file, which is the reason why you are tracking your payroll, which is one of the reasons to see how you need to track the wages and the taxes that you are withholding from those employees. So you have Form 941, quality tax return, if that's what you are supposed to file. You have Form 944, if that's the annual tax return you are required to file. And then you have the W-2 to file with Social Security. And then you have Form 940, unemployment tax. And let's search that. I'm just doing Control F on Windows. Form 940 and Form 940, which is annual unemployment tax return to file as well, and based on the different requirement that you have, and on the footer there are some benefits that are exempt from unemployment tax, and those benefits, that's why we incorporate fringe benefit, group term life insurance, retirement pension, daycare. So if you offer those benefits, they are not subject to federal tax. So you might take that into consideration so that they can come out of your total wage subject to federal tax. They can come out of it. That's why we have an area for it. So, but yeah, again, and then based on the different things you are asked, you will be able to, to design your spreadsheet in a way that you can track your expenses. That way you will be able to put those information on the return when they are due, and they do ask for your full tax liability by quarter as well. So if you are asked about unemployment tax liability by quarter, maybe tracking them in a way that you know how much each quarter food tax is. You'll be able to quickly put the numbers here as well. So yeah, I need to see how the footer tab is working. I'm not seeing. Okay, the footer tab is calculating the footer. Okay, so that means the footer tab, we need to come to the footer tab and enter the month. If A1 so on the footer tab, you will need to put the month at the beginning, and I think it'll be good to have a formula there. Let me see if I'll be able to insert a formula there. We'll go to data, and I'm using Windows. That's Excel spreadsheet. So under data, we will go to why is saying that I have it? Okay. Anyway, so let's click on data validation, and then I will choose list, and under list I will click on the source, and while it's like this, I will go click on the list. So that's why we have the category on a tab specifically. So we want the month. Instead of you tapping the month, we can just include it like that, and then I will click on that little arrow there, and then I'll click OK. So I have it there, and let me just bring it all the way down. And technically this footer task, we might color code the little bit. Okay, that way we will remember to come here and choose the month that it'll be good to have a formula here that it will automatically pull it from the federal income tax tab too, though. That way we don't have to come back here to do it. But anyway, so now that we enter that here, it should be able to show up here, but it's showing value. So oh, let me see here what it is asking me. So I don't know if that will allow me to change it easily like that. No. So let me break that validation. Clear it. Okay. So let's put one there. Let me see how that will work. Oh, it's going to be general. Okay, so if we put one, okay, so I think I designed it to be numbers, not the month. Let's see how that is going to affect. Yeah, I see. Okay, so that means yeah, You can put month in period. I don't know if that's the right way to mention it, but we can add a note. It should be numbers. Not month in letters. For instance, January is 1 and December is 12. Okay, so that means, okay, let me clear the formula out of here completely. We'll go to data and we'll click on validation. Okay, since I clean up this one, I can just drag it down as well, and hopefully it will take care of it for me. So it's done. So we pay in January, and then we have February. No, then we have February. You have not started reading yet, right?
I did.
No, you're not supposed to be reading and eating. You'll get sugar on the book. No, Jaden.
But I can't even. You're saying two?
So we have January and February there.
And you have to put on the oven.
Jaden, don't put water on the floor. For some reason, it's not pulling.
Why?
I have to check it to see what is going on. Oh, I see what I did. By dragging this down, yeah, I affected. So we can just undo. Even so, it's going to affect it because I think I drag. Jaden,
28 pages.
Jaden, go put clothes on.
What's the time?
Go put clothes on.
Why?
Go put clothes on. I'm recording.
Why would you put it?
Jaden, stay in your room. When I'm done, you can read. Okay, so by dragging the first one down, yeah, I mess it up. And I think I dragged it down when I was doing this as well though. But I'm not sure. So this one is done. Jaden, go stay in your room.
Why?
Because you're not listening.
Hold on.
And we are going to clear this one as well.
Pants kind of tight.
And let me just put 2 here to see how that is going to affect. No? Go change your clothes.
Why? I don't have
Look at it. Then go stay in your room. You have clock in there, or you ask Gabriel.
No time. You have to see the time it is. Dad.
Okay. So first this one, in fact.
Dad, tell me what time.
Jaden, you can look at the time in the hallway.
I can't. No.
Yeah, well, learn to read it. Jaden, I don't think you need lights.
I'm stop reading.
Okay, so
Where's it? I don't know.
I need to clean
No. So if I don't know if I
copy. Now, let me just copy this one and I will paste the formula. I told you, you are not going to read the time on my computer. And I'm going to have that too. I'm going to have that. I should have taken that too out of there before trying to paste the formula here. Okay, so now let's do 1 and let's do 2 for February, and let's go see how that affected our end result. Yeah, it's still not working properly because I think I must have dragged that data validation formula down, so I have to do it, but I think it should be able to allow me to. But anyway, I will see why it's not working properly here. Yeah, I will review this formula to see how, if the formula is well suited. But the good news is the FURA tax is calculating. We just need to make sure the rate is up to date, and the month here, I still don't know why I try to have the month at the end though, because if I have it at the beginning,
make that sound.
It should be able to, and it's pulling it from Q. Footer tab. If the B for 11 match C. Fura R. Yeah, Fura R. I don't think. Yeah, I will. The easiest way to. I don't know why I want to put it at the end if I already have it at the beginning. But yeah, I will see how I will. In fact, I will leave the formula on the first one, but then the second one, I'll just make it to match that one. Let's do it this way. But I would prefer to have it as a general. And Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to change the first formula as well. Okay. So I think we changed that formula, we fix it, and we will be able to find our footer calculating for us. And pretty much we are trying to track the quarter footer task at the top of it as well, while we are tracking it on a monthly basis and by employee. And you have to keep in mind that you pay footer on the first 7,000 that you pay the employee. So let's try and change the first salary we paid. Let's change it to 12,000 to see how that will affect the footer. So when you are designing it, you might want to let me see here, is summarizing it. So there was a formula here before and I changed it, and I shouldn't have changed it because it was right the first time. And pretty much what it is, let me go back here, is pulling it from the staff tab. So we want to pull it from the staff tab.
Oh, it hurt. Make all those go in one hit.
But I'm not sure that'll be the right way to do it, because let me finish what I'm doing here to show it to you. Otherwise we'll track one employee on one row, and so if we assume, let me see if I have the, okay, I'll keep that one there, and then I will apply this formula to the just to those. So if I'm referring to the staff tab, it will summarize everything I'm putting on the federal income tax return on one row for each employee. And I'm not sure that'll be the right way to do it, for that same reason that the formula that we have for the month is by month. Therefore, it's going to be pulling things for the whole year for one employer on one row, and is now, I don't think that's the for the footer purposes, and I don't think that's the idea behind it. So therefore, but something I was more trying to look is this one. I'd like to see if it's charging on the first 7,000, if it's charging employment tax return on the first 7,000, and I believe that's what it's doing. So it's charging on the first 7,000, for that person that earn 14,000, 12,000 in one payment and 2,000 in another. So it's charging the full tax on the up to 7,000 for that one, and for the second one, the total of 4,000 paid to the second person is charging the full tax on that whole 4,000. So that is the idea, but I don't think it is designed well to do both things that we wanted to track. So therefore, the one on the website, the one on the website is behaving this way. It's tracking on one row for one employee. And if you don't have the month, you won't track the full tax by month or by quarter, but it will track it by employee for you on this tab. So, and yeah, I think this tab was designed originally to actually, you know, be on its own in some way, but then trying to track it on a monthly basis became challenging, because when you add the month, then the entry by the entry for the whole year for an employee is on one row. Okay, I'm seeing it now. So it's pulling things by quarter here. It's pulling things by quarter. So, and if it's pulling things by quarter, I see. In the federal things here, we have January selected. If, for instance, we selected maybe May, let's see how that will. Is it May? Yeah, May is now where is pulling it from. It's choosing May here as well. I think he's choosing it from this area, so that will be quarter 2 for May, and how that will impact it. So it's going to move it to the second quarter for us. So depending on what you choose on the federal income tax, yeah, the full tax tab is pulling from that column as from that tab as well. But now I'm trying to track further charge by month. Yeah, I think we might need to update the spreadsheet if we want to do both, pull by quarter and pull by month. At this point, that's the way the spreadsheet is working. So you won't see, if the one on the website, you won't see the monthly further tax liability, but you'll see the quarterly one based on how you complete the federal income tax. So, and I'm going to the revision. The revision that I'm working on, I want to track the full tax on a monthly basis, and I think some adjustment will need to be made for that to happen. So it will track it by quarter. If you enter the information on the footer task that way, it will track it by quarter. But the version on the website now, the version 1 will have the option where it pull information by employee for you, and you'll have the whole year on one row, and you'll have by quarter for that. So yeah, I think when I revise this one, I'll have it there so that there are those two options for you to see which one works well for you. And I like this layout because it's tracking this, but I just don't see how and is I still have that $12,000. But anyway, yeah, it's just to share with you this payroll spreadsheet. You can design your own, or you can, you can download a copy of what we have on our website. But again, I keep improving it. So we do have different type of payroll spreadsheet. You can see which one is better suited for your business. And if you have to show your daily tax liability, this spreadsheet is not designed for that. It's tracking things by month and by quarter, but not by day. That's something to keep in mind. So thank you so much for watching. I'll keep playing around it. I need to go back again and change my month. Yeah, I will keep playing around it to see how to improve it. Gabrielle, go back to your room. Your room, Gabrielle. Your room. Oh yeah, this quarter here. So those are things you have to pay attention to.
This one.
But yeah, so is the formula on this is to track things on one row by person. Therefore, probably to be able to track things on a monthly basis, maybe another tab will be included to help do that. It's not what I asked you to do. It's better than what you had before, but be very careful. So thank you so much for watching. I was thinking about putting this one here, but I don't think the footer task tab it needs some improvement to it. Probably another tab will be added to be able to pull this data if I'm going to keep this to be tracking things by employee on one row. I might have to create another tab to be able to track things by month. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's just to share with you how you can manually calculate payroll tasks using publication 15T and specifically using wage bracket method to estimate the federal income tax return. As for the Social Security and the Medicaid, the employment tax return that you will file, whether it's Form 944 or Form 941, they already have the rates on it. Once you know the wage subject to Social Security tax, you just tell me by that rate.
What?
and it will calculate it. So once you know the wage that is subject to Social Security tax, you will use the employer and the employee total rates to it on it, and it will show. But as for the federal income tax withheld, that's where the challenge is. You have to determine that yourself, and that's how the publication 15C can be used to help with it. And if you want to try other method, you can check the percentage method as well, and there is the alternative method as well. And the alternative, you can see which one. No, you're not going to see there. And you can see which one will work more for how often you pay payroll. Maybe the percentage. I need to get this pen out of the way. Maybe the percentage payroll method might work for you, or the third one down the line might work for you. So they do have, I don't really want to talk about this one, but you do have this option as well. And in this example, I think you have to work with, if we go to the monthly tab, so we are working with $2,000, so from 0 but less than 2,308. And for this one, you have to find the merit status that you know that the W4 is step 1 is pointing at. So it is single filing status. So you will choose the wage bracket, which is 1,154 to 2,071. That's where 2,000 is falling under. And they say to the tentative amount to withhold is $0 plus 10% of any wage that exceed $1,154. So for instance, what that means is, if you are working with $2,000 that the first person one got, you will do minus 1,154, and then you do 0.10 on it. You see, something like that. So that's how the percentage method will work. And they have, that will be for the standard withholding. That'll be the second person. That'll be 84 C's. And for the person that check the step 2 box, that would be 1,000 to 244 line. We can highlight that for that person, and we can highlight this one for we can highlight this one for the second person that didn't check the box 2. That is 84 C's if you are using the percentage bracket method. And for the person that checked the box, so we pay 2,000 to that person, so you take that 2,000 and again minus 1,035 minus 1,035. On that, you time it by 12% times 0.12. That's this 12% there. And whatever the result is, plus 4580. 4580 is 163.6. In the wage brackets option, it was 163 for this one and 86 for the standard withholding for the second person. But for the percentage bracket is 84.6 for the second person and 161.6 for the first person. So if we go back again to those social security calculated, probably the summary report, and the summary report will throw it together. Yeah, it will be the federal income tax, yeah, 163 and 86 with the wage brackets, but with the percentage method for manual payroll system, it is a little bit less. So the third one, let's go back all the way up. The third one is the alternative method, and let's see. Yeah, I thought they'll have a table there, but I'm not seeing any table here. Yeah, this is for casino profits. But yeah, so you have those two. And you have per year employment option. So you just have to go through it to see but yeah, you just have to go through those three options to see which one will work more for you. And they do have annualized wage as well. The percentage method table for automated payroll system in section 1 and worksheet 1A allow you to figure out federal income tax withholding based on annualized wages. We didn't talk more about that because that one is more for automated payroll and pension and annuities, but you will be able to find semi-annually percentage there. If you pay twice a year, for instance, you should be able to to see if that will work for you. But yeah, those are the different options to help you figure out how much of tax to withhold from your employee's salary. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and ninasoap.com. Jaden, lower the volume way down, Jaden. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We thank you for all your comments, and thank you very much all that subscribe to our channel. And again, we have our website, our blog website. Beside our articles, we do have free download sessions where you can find templates that you can use to manage your money and your business. And again, you are responsible for your taxes. So when you download the templates, you might want to make sure the formula is calculating well on the template. And the template is pretty much help you track your expenses and your income. But you are the one filing your taxes. You want to make sure you are tracking your information accurately in a way that you can file your tax return well. And when I update the free payroll spreadsheet form 940 B22F2 is the one that I'm revising, and I'm going to pretty much see. I don't know when I'll put the new version out there. Is up to date for form 941, but the footer tabs needs to be updated. So the version on the website, yeah, I think I will keep it there, I will think, but I will add a second version for it. And you feel free to check the version that you like better to help you in your business. And yeah, we'll see if I'll keep the old one there. I'll see how the second one turn out to be. If both are worth keeping, yeah, I will keep it and add the second one to it. Thank you.